Hi everybody. Just wanted to make a quick video. There's a concept that I want to touch on that I'm really passionate about, that I see illuminated in my own behavior. Because if you want to know what somebody believes in, don't ask them what they think. Observe their behavior, right? Stated and revealed preferences are disparate from one another. Revealed preferences are the reality, right? You act out what you believe about the world. What you say you believe in the world is immaterial. The mechanism by which a person actuates in the world, a person effectuates change in their life and in the lives of those around them, starts with the voice. The most important thing to a free society is the ability of individuals to speak their mind. It's not a great wonder that the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States is the freedom of speech. And the joke that I've heard that I think is funny is, if the First Amendment doesn't work, that's why we have the Second Amendment. It's not indefensible, it's indispensable for a free society to have the individual, not this group or that group, but each person individually, to have the ability and the environmentally encouraged situation to speak their mind, because that's how we get better. That's how we address, as a community, issues, right? What happens in illiberal societies is people don't speak their mind. And there's a lot of mechanisms by which this occurs, right? You can have a tiered society like India, like the caste system, or Saudi Arabia with the way they treat women, or North Korea, the way people that aren't of a high social score, if you will, or a high social standing get treated. We like to belabor the point of the transatlantic slave trade in the United States without the understanding that there are more slaves right now in the world than there ever were during the early years of the United States. And that's not to make light of the transgressions of the past. It's just to realize that there are transgressions still now today of similar scale and severity. And so what's more utilitarian is to recognize what we're doing right in the world. And I see a rising tide of anti-Western rhetoric, and I'm here to give you the counterpoint, and that is the West stands for a inclusive, diverse, I hate these buzzwords, society where all people, irrespective of race, color, creed, sex, sexual orientation, are welcomed to participate in the experiment of the West. And part of that is the freedom of association, the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, freedom to worship how you as an individual see fit. And the more I've studied psychology, the more I recognize that one of the things that happens as evil perpetuates is the individual doesn't speak out. You've all heard the quote, all it takes for evil to perpetuate is for good men, good women, to say nothing. What does that mean? It means that to maintain a good community and society, the individual has to speak out whenever they see something wrong. And that takes courage. That takes being willing to face the consequences of retribution in a society that pillories those that speak the truth. And right now, in 2023, I see that we in the West, specifically in the United States, because I can't speak to the other Western countries, are becoming increasingly illiberal. The politic has moved, the line between the left and the right has moved ever more left, And now the classic liberalism is looking more like neo-communism, neo-Marxism. Um, Classic liberalism says, speak your mind. The individual has a right to have their own thoughts and beliefs, and we're not here to restrict individual thought. And now I see it's ever more popular to try to take the conch away from those that would speak critically of power, because we have this huge corporate operator in terms of the volume of money in politics and advertising and so forth, that it's an assault to the individual freedom of speech. And my contention as just one little human living their little life, that freedom of speech is extraordinarily important. And it starts and it is fostered by you saying what you think is true based on your life, your experiences, irrespective of the groups that you're associated with, your concepts of identity that are kind of outsourced. And that's a scary thing to say, hey, I think this, and I'm gonna face the consequences of those thoughts. But anything other than that is a sort of spiritual suicide. To lie is to invite wickedness into a person's life. And so that's my point in this video, is to recognize how important living by the truth is. And I just think that when we all individually decide that we're going to tell the truth to ourselves, to the people around us, we have and will continue to have a thriving society based on liberalism, based on democracy, based on a future that is bright and good for our children and our children's children. And we have to always be aware of kind of the wolves at the door of groupthink, of mass hysteria, of top-down tyrannical imposition of thought pattern. And these are not abstract concepts. These things have happened in history. All you have to do is study history to see when these things occur, and the kinds of terrible situations. Okay, so I didn't know if it was recording, so I just stopped that last video short. So that's my whole point. I'm trying to be quiet because my daughter's taking a nap right now. My wife's pissed at me because I'm being so loud. But I just wanted to make this video really quick. Speak your mind. You don't realize how important it is to do so. Some people aren't going to like what you have to say. That's all right. If we're not for the freedom of speech, precisely for the people that espouse views that we despise, then we're not for freedom of speech. So, I welcome dissension, I welcome argumentation, I welcome debate. And the reason I welcome those things is because they are the antithesis of violent combat, right? Let's engage in diplomacy between the left and the right, such that we don't have to engage in another civil war. That's my point. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching and enjoying my content. I'm going to keep it coming. And I am very grateful for the opportunity to communicate with people in my community, whether it's the sauna at my swim and fitness center, or my colleagues in the different jobs that I have, or my family. I hope that I can encourage at least one person out there to speak their mind and see what happens. So thank you guys. Love you guys. Thank you for watching.